So it's like, oh, that's not too bad. So the foot massage, we actually use the rest of our body to help us do the foot massage. So you sit with your knees bent and your feet tucked underneath you. And then just notice that your spine is straight and tall. And then you come up and you tuck your toes underneath and sit your weight back on your toes. Now, if that's too much for your toes, you can lean yourself forward a little bit so all the weight isn't on your toes. And just taking a few breaths here. Can't see my toes. And then put one foot, the top of one foot on the bottom of the other foot, and sit back on your feet again. So my feet are crossed one over top of the other like this. And you can kind of like wiggle your bum around and see where you feel it. And Sarah knows this about reflexology because of her massage background, is the bottom of our feet are the representation of our whole body. So we're giving ourselves a foot massage, and we're kind of also giving ourselves a full body massage. And so then we're going to lean forward and switch which foot is on top and put the other one on top. And you'll notice places where you can see that, or you can feel, not see, that you can feel it more. And if you're curious about the spots that you can feel more, if you Google reflexology, they have some beautiful charts on the internet. And then just continue to switch back and forth. And if I happen to be watching a TV show with my family or something like that, I'll do this for the last 15 minutes. I'll move from the couch to the floor and do some yoga and some foot massage like this, because then I know when the movie's finished and I go to bed, I'll be wound down even more. And as you switch, you can experiment a little bit with, like, as you lay one foot over the other, moving that foot around so you can hit different spots. And the only other thing to mention is, are you present in what you're doing, or are you in your mind somewhere else? Because that's what I noticed for a while as I was doing things, but I wasn't really paying attention that I was doing them, so I wasn't really getting all of the benefits from them. So if I'm doing this, and then just go ahead and switch back and forth when you're ready. If I'm doing this and I'm thinking about a stressful situation with my kids, it's really counterproductive. So being aware of where your mind is when you're doing this. If your mind can be noticing your feet and the sensations you feel in them and any other sensations you might have going on in your body, that makes it more powerful. And I don't recommend doing this on a hard floor with no carpet or anything, because it hurts the top of your feet a fair amount. And then let's do a couple of yoga poses to add to it. These are ones I do at night because they're super easy. And so coming on all fours, and you can do them wherever you want to do them. You can have a yoga mat. Sometimes I do them upstairs on my carpet. Sometimes Amber and I'll do them on her bed. And so we're going to start with cat and cow. So having your fingers spread out and really grounding through your fingertips as well as your knuckles. And you want to line your wrists underneath your shoulders and stack those joints. Same with your knees underneath your hips. And then inhale and look up and stretch that spine as you curve it. And then exhale as you come under into cat. Look between your knees. And you want your feet to be straight out behind you, not crossed at this point. And just continue back and forth. Inhaling as you come up into cow. Exhaling as you tuck your tailbone under, stretch up into cat. And if it feels good, feel free to stay in one position for a breath or two. Remembering to ground through those fingertips so your knuckles don't get so much of the weight. And if for some reason your wrists don't like it, you can come down to your forearms. Same motion, curling that spine. And then also, if you're someone that doesn't even work for, you can do it from a sitting position, resting your hands on your knees and opening your heart and letting your head curl back. Exhaling as you curl yourself forward. Okay. And then let's take our toes and tuck them back under like we had them at the beginning. I'm just noticing how that feels. Taking a couple breaths here. We're going to come off our toes, rest the top of our feet on our mat, and have your big toes touch each other and bring your knees apart so there's a little bit of space. And then bring your forehead to the floor in child's resting pose. Your hands can be gently stretched above your head, or they can rest down by your sides. And if for some reason that's totally uncomfortable, you can take a block and rest your head on the block, or a pillow if that's what you need. And noticing what relaxes here. Be willing to have awareness around what's relaxing. What are you letting go of? How can you give yourself permission to take 5 breaths that help you digest your day? And then when you're ready, bring your hands to your sides and push yourself up. And then sit back on your bum. We're going to stretch our legs out in front of us. And just reach your hands down upon your legs towards your toes. And if you can reach your toes, great. If you can't, doesn't really matter. And as you inhale, imagine there's a string coming out of the top of your head, making your spine longer. And as you exhale, allow your chest to melt down towards your knees a little bit more. And keep doing that. Elongating your spine as you inhale. Exhale as you melt down a little bit more. And then inhaling yourself back up. The last one we'll do is you bring your feet together. And your feet can be as close to your groin as you can get them or wherever you want. Just notice how you gentle stretch in your hips. And then same thing, begin to lean yourself forward and notice how my back is straight, doing your best to keep your back straight. So noticing yourself and and then letting it melt down, elongating, melting down. And then for this one, when you hit that point where you're like, okay, I can't go anymore, allow gravity to take over and your head can come closer to your feet. One of the things that I love about any kind of folding forward you do brings your energy down. So if you've got kids or spouses or whatever, and you create a wind down routine or you help them create a wind down routine, especially with kids, if you can have them folding forward, it helps bring their energy down. Vanessa, I know you work with kids in school when COVID's not around. And so same thing. It's like if you can, when kids are wound up when they come in from recess, just allowing them to take a few breaths and fold forward in their chair or whatever helps bring their energy down so they're not so jacked up. Makes a big difference when my daughter and I do like 5 minutes of yoga before she goes to bed. So, yeah. Any questions from what we just did? Sarah's just going to close her eyes. Okay, well, if you